correctly, sir? Vandya. Huh? Vandya. Cool, cool, sir. What do you have to say about this response that we just got, sir?
Somebody said super hit, thank you.
You heard the right thing, huh? Sahi cheez suna, sir. Please. Yes.
But I don't have a kingdom in the film.
You should have said it, sir. Sir, don't spill the beans, sir.
No, it's nice.
Is it?
It's very middle class vibe. They'll correct.
Sahi. Sympathy, sir. Got it. Please have a seat.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming here and supporting us.
Amazing. And now, ladies and gentlemen, ये थोड़ा सा कठिन है मेरे लिए, but I've practiced. Arun Modi Varman. Jayam Ravi sir के लिए जोरदार तालियां. So good to see you. Movie blockbuster उस वक्त. And you know, I had hosted a lot of events, but that was the time when I realized that this job needs to be acknowledged, because this gentleman here, right after the event, he walked up to me, he tapped on my shoulder, and he was like, "Wow, that was a good event." So I understood, okay, thank you, we get there, and that's what Chiyaan Vikram sir is. No, it's amazing, sir. That I'll never forget that. So it's so good to see you. And now, ladies.
Thank you so much for your generosity. It was just really sweet, and thank you for doing what you're doing so well.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you all
so
for
much.
coming here. Good evening, Cutlass.
Welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we talk about music. Lekin music, जो दिल में घुस जाता है. See, I can see all you people smiling, some of you blushing. मैं ज़्यादा क्या बोलूँ? Give it up for the cast.
I think every actor in the film has been a hero or a heroine. Everybody. And this particular story has characters like how Mahabharata or Ramayana has so well-etched, layered characters. And that's why this novel is still so good. And playing those characters aren't easy. You know, there's already so many imaginations of each character. And taking it in, and like how Manisha says, keep it real. But real and 1,000 years back. So that's a big challenge. So then you have to understand how the society was 1,000 years back. Like Cholas had their own fleet. You know, Cholas had conquered all over South Asia. So we didn't know all this. So the next generation is going to know all this through this film. It's going to be an experience. I wouldn't say it's a film, it's an experience.
Right now, Mani sir's fleet, sir.
Hi everyone. So I call PS1, I've said this before, as my triple bonus film. So I mean, I've done a lot of films and been around for a while. And people have, I mean, it's a very common question. Everyone's asked me, what character do you wish to play, since you've pretty much done so many already. And I've always said I want to be part of a period film. Obviously, I want to play a princess, right? Yeah. And I mean, so this PS1 is my triple bonus film because firstly, I get to play a princess. Secondly, it is a Mani Ratnam film. And third,
Have we finished it? No worries, we'll come back to the third point.
oh, the third was the period film. Yeah, third was the period.
Did you just make it up?
Sorry, princess, period film, Mani Ratnam film. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Something about that, because everybody would want to know about that. क्या हो क्या रहा है?
It's a selfie.
ऐसी थोड़ी होती है. इतनी धमाकेदार selfie, like जितनी movie blockbuster, उतनी like the entire world is talking about it right now.
Firstly, good evening, and thank you all for coming here and supporting our movie. Very special to us. And this movie, of course, under the one and only Mani Ratnam. It's his movie, and we are so happy and privileged and honored to be part of this film. Thank you for also making it light by asking us about the selfie. Well, what can we say? I think it's people's love, right? It's their response and their love for us that they're making something as normal as just two artists who are having fun on a set and just making a memory to remember the day and the moment. And yeah, thank you all for the love and making a trend. Thank you.
Just one more thing, and on a serious note. When they say on a serious note, वो सबसे हल्का सवाल होता है. But yeah, if you were to talk about, PS1 in your filmography, how do you see it? And how was it working with Mani sir yet again? Because we all are really excited.
I'll be standing here all night because when it comes to expressing that, one can go on and on. So how do I make it concise? Working with Mani sir, Mani Garu, he's my guru. I worked in my first film with him, and that is I regard myself blessed that I got the opportunity to actually start my journey as an actor working with him. The perfect school, the perfect guru. Because, experience is the best teacher, and I didn't come with any formal training. I just dived right in. You all know it. You've known it for a while now. But I got to work with him, and I think a lot of it's spiritual, it's divine, it's blessed, and a lot of work ethic. It all starts from the beginning, right? We always say your foundation, your approach to work, the way you actually focus on the art and the creativity itself, and not on the peripherals, but because that goes with the turf, and that isn't the focal point in your creative journey. And what better place for me to have begun my approach to my craft than with Mani sir. So I'm very, very blessed that I got the opportunity with Iruvar, then again in Guru, in Ravanan, and today Ponniyin Selvan. And it's his dream project. To have got the opportunity to just be a part of that in itself is any artist's dream. And we're all, I think everybody here will echo my sentiment, where we're just so humbled and creatively content, and regard ourselves very, very privileged that we got to be part of his dream film. So, and what a team! What a team, what talent, what artists, what creative talents, you've got Rahman sir, you've got Ravi on camera, you've got Tota Tarni, you've got Nani sir, you've got an incredible team of assistants, crew, Eka on costume, Pratiksha, you all have done jewelry. Everybody has done such a brilliant job. The production, everybody has given their all, because it all starts from here with Mani sir, his passion, and it's infectious. And we're all there, fully committed, 3 in the morning, like you're saying. It's Suprabhatam. We've all worked at the Brahmurta every day. And there we are committing. And that's normal in a Mani Ratnam movie. And like you said, 6 in the morning, if a shot happens as daylight, it's joy. Because that's just the way we begin our day. It's the dawn of work, it's the dawn of the day, and every day is a memory to cherish for a lifetime.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
They're loving it already.
I think the connection is made now. But yeah, I have a lot of connections with Mumbai. The main one being I did a course in Kishore Namit Kapoor Institute few years back, a lot of years back. So I just finished college and I entered there. Vivek Oberoi and Hrithik Roshan sir, everybody are from there.
Yeah.
That's what I heard. And we also saw many people coming and giving guest lectures there. So that was the connection. And I learned a lot of things there. Mainly I learned what not to do in cinema. So that's what they teach you first. That helped me a lot. So it's a full circle now. When you come to Mani sir, that's what you learn. First, don't do this. That's what he says. When I emote something, he says, don't give stress on each and every word. Keep the basic emotion in your mind. The stress will come automatically, naturally, organically somewhere. So that is enough for the scene. I think that is the secret of Mani sir. Because even the great actors in the industry, when they act in a Mani Ratnam film, they act differently. And I don't know how. So I wanted to know that secret. So I think I got the secret from you, sir. Even you don't know about it, but I know your secret.
You answered that question, right? All right, talking about this stellar cast over here, tell us something about that also.
We are witnessing it right now. Is it even possible to get all these people together? No way.
No.
Only because of Mani sir, we are all together.
Yeah.
When the master is the greatest one, sir, we have to address you like this, sir, like master. Because we love you so much, and when he is there, we came out of love for him, and out of love for the book Ponniyin Selvan, which has been written 70 years back, which is kept like a secret scroll, and Mani sir has taken the scroll He's let the genie out. So I think this is going to make wonders. It's a beautiful, beautiful film with beautiful, beautiful cast for beautiful audience.
Amazing.
You rightly said it. Hi guys, first of all. It's a lot of dreams that come together. My dream is, when I started acting in movies, I'd seen a Roja, I'd seen a Bombay, I'd seen a Nayagan, and I wanted to be in his films. I was in college that time and I had a classmate who was a cousin of his, and I became his friend because he's his cousin. And I used to always keep asking about Mani sir. That's the impact he's had on me in the films that he's done. Maunaragam, there's so many movies, like frame by frame, I mean, I could just watch them over and over again. So that was a dream, to work in his film. And I had thought that, even Mr. Shankar, if I work in both their films, I would retire. I don't want to act after that. And I still hadn't started acting. But I've acted in 2 films of both of theirs, and I'm hungry for more. So that's one dream. Second dream is, of course, Rahman sir. The most amazing maestro alive, I think, in music. I mean, what he does for us. Yesterday, someone rightly said, even after 30 years, the songs that he played first, maybe in a Roja, is still very, very pertinent even today. The sounds, what he's used, the instruments he's used, how he's changed music in cinema as we know it. So it's always been a dream for me to work in his film. But what greater dream can there be than working in a film which both of them are together? Because they've given the most amazing music always, every single time. It's always a sixer. And I feel so proud to be a part of that. The other dream was, I've always wanted, I told Mani sir, give me a nice role wherein, like, I have this entry on a bike, and then you have, like, in Alay Pai, you'll have Maddie, and sounds like that. And maybe it's like Vicky, or Vikram, or Kenny, whatever. He disappointed me that way. He threw me into the jungle and into muck. And again, he called me for this, and I said, okay, now what are we doing? He said, you're a prince. I said, wow, great. No, but you get into battle, you're only in battle, and you're always covered in muck. So you have to be rugged, you have to be crude, you have to be a barbarian of sorts. You are a prince, but yes, Eka will give you the most amazing costumes, but then you have to roll in the sand and then get ready for the shot. So that was how it was. So I was like, okay, so I'm not going to have that entry. But then you saw the entry in the trailer, which I think for me is my personal best shot ever in any film. Oh. Thank you, sir. I don't think I'll ever have that shot again. Neither will I have that hair again. So that shot is like the shot for me, coming as a prince on a horse, and I think that's enough. I don't need anything more in the film. But then you have Rahman sir, you have Thodadarni, you have Thodadarni sir, you have Ravi Verma, you have everybody who's like, giving it their best, and that's all because it's Mani sir's movie, and they're all there, and you know that you're going to be in a film like that, produced by one of the biggest production companies in India, Laika. So what more can I ask? All my dreams have come true, and working with the most amazing actors. It's not very easy to get a combination like this because in the South especially, we don't have ensemble cast, we don't have that, we just have a solo hero, and I may meet him at a function, and we're buddies, and I may meet Karthi again at a function and say, hi Karthik, how are you? Great, I saw your film. But never will we do a film where we're all together. This film has every actor except maybe I think there's one person called Mohan Ram. I think everybody else has been a hero or is a hero. And everyone has been a heroine on, even now. And of course, working with all of them, Ravi, Karthi, Trisha, Ash, it's been like phenomenal. And I get to work with Ash again after Ravanan. My only problem, my only gripe is, here too, I don't get her. I play this tragic hero who never, whenever Manisa says Ash, I said, really? So do I die in the end? Do I get her? Yeah, let's think about it. But I don't think I can tweak the subject because it's already been written. So I may die, I may not die, but Ash, why do you do this? Anyway, so that's how it is. And we've had a great time. We all, I think, Rahman sir rightly said yesterday, we are not thinking of this as a blockbuster or is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be nothing? We just feel proud to be part of something like this, which has been everybody's dream. For the last 70 years, there's been this book. For the last 40 years, Manisa has been trying. We've had MGR who's wanted to make the film. You had Kamal sir who wanted, and you have almost everybody in the Tamil industry and trying to have made this film. And we are all part of that. We're all part of history. There is fiction, but it's mostly history. One of the most glorious periods of all times for South India. And I'm glad to be a prince in that, and I'm glad to be his prince. Thank you, sir, once again. And you're doing a good show.
I think it's a search for excellence and imagination. Right. I think that's the common thing. Beyond all the flattery I can give him, beyond all that, I think there's a common goal. All of us, we have a common goal. How can we surpass our previous things and go to a zone and find ourselves? So being a student of him, because he taught all those little tricks of trade for me. As a musician, you can never imagine the things which he taught. Because as a musician, you only imagine the chords and raga and tal. But how to combine things to make it impressive, how to make it unique, how to search for the uniqueness, how to cut the clutter. That's the stuff I learned from him. And thank you for your kind words. Sorry.
And it wasn't flattering.
No, I'm in a good way, so I'm just using that as a... so as it, for me and for our team, actually, this movie is beyond success or failure. I think it's a success already because in these 3 years, he started the movie, we had COVID, a lot of people died. He just put that PP kit and went and did this, man. It's like war. And we lost so many people. I was like, what is he doing? This is suicide. And they did it. This team is amazing. Every one of you, thank you so much. God bless you all for taking the courage, risking your lives, and doing this for a culture.
Good evening. Thank you very much for being here. PS has been a dream for a very long time. From the first time I read the book during my school days, it's been something which I've seen on the big screen. I never thought I would get into films, nor did I think I'll make it. But it's always been calling to be made. I think it was so spectacular as a, as a visual, as a story, as an adventure. So, and several people have tried to do this before, and they've not been able to. They've not been able to because of one reason. They wanted to leave it for me. So I'm so happy, so glad that I get to make it and get to make it with at this time, when the technology has improved tremendously. So we are able to do it with a lot more comfort, lot more authenticity, and to be able to do it with this kind of cast and crew. In fact, not just being right for the role, but also being right for the film and caring for the film and willing to do that walk along, So it's very special. It's very special, and thank each one of them. Also thank the producer who trusted us and gave us the money to go ahead and do it. And Subhash Karan, I thank him also. And I also have two more people to thank here from the Hindi film industry. One is Anil Kapoor. Yes. It was his voice on the trailer. And one more is Ajay Devgan. Oh, thank you. It will be his voice on the main film. So I thank both of them. I thank all of you.
Thank you so much, sir, for doing this.
This is for Ratnam sir. Sir, the film is based on a so can you share something about the adaptation process as the movie is releasing in 2 parts, and how easy or difficult it was to pick up the episodes, like the important?
It's my job to be able to convert or extract a film out of this. This book is really extensive and it's got so many characters, so much of details, there's so much of history written in it, and a lot of research went into the book. And so all that were, a platform. It's on a plate for me, so we could put it together in a cogent way. And because we are putting 5-part book, so 2,000 pages nearly, into 2 films, there were some parts that had to be crunched, had to be brought together and told in a cogent fashion that people will be able to follow. So this was the task which I really enjoyed.
Quite scary. Because my mom said, while she was in college, her classmates said, I want to marry somebody like Mandir Devan. So that's the kind of pressure I had the moment Mani sir said, you have to play this part. And you can imagine a super hit novel will have so many imaginations, so I have to live up to it. And but I had Mani sir with me, and this is one character which meets all the character in the film. I didn't have a problem when I'm meeting men in the film, but I had problem when I'm meeting the women in the film because they're all the royals, like Kundavai or Nandini. It wasn't easy. I was a little scared, but Manisha took me along, one brick at a time. So we took it that way. And then one day Manisha said, "You can be more real. You're trying to act." That's scared me so much. Then I started understanding the period, because you have to understand the period. It was 1,000 years back. You have to know how people lived 1,000 years back. All we know about is history, where people say which king conquered what, but we don't know what lifestyle they had. Cholas were so rich in their administration. If you see, have you ever heard a king saying, "I'm the servant of my people"? That's how those people were. I got goosebumps when the king said that dialogue. So they were so accommodative. They were so living for the people. They had the first free hospitals. They had trade all over the world. So imagine you're living in the most cosmopolitan times 1,000 years back. So they were not innocent barbarians then. They were so rich, sophisticated. So I had to understand the period to be able to even walk into a frame. So I was so conscious about all these aspects. But after that, what I did, I don't know. I think I've done my best. I can't do better than this. So I think I have to thank Manisha for trusting me with this, taking me along. So I really enjoyed this film. I think like Raman sir said, this is an experience for us for a lifetime.
Comparisons नहीं करते as artists. हर experience अपने में ही challenging है और अपने में ही यादगार है, अपने में ही खूबसूरत है. और जब as an artist हमें ऐसे अनुभवों के अवसर मिलते हैं, तो हम अपने आप को बहुत ही मतलब blessed we really regard ourselves blessed, because you're getting the opportunity to essay such impactful characters, such memorable characters, as we have read them, but then you're getting to work with filmmakers who we as artists can keep complete faith in, where the interpretation, the language of cinema, and the movie itself. When you know it's going to be a memorable experience, and that frankly makes our jobs very easy. And because, like we always say, it begins here, right? The filmmaker, they do all the hard work, they do the conceiving, they're part of the writing process, they're part of the interpretation of the narrative, and it is our it ought to be our sincere effort to give our all to realize their vision, and to bring that in its truest form on in front of the camera. And that's our job and our commitment, and that earnestness is always in place, and we'll always try and do better and try and do more when I get the opportunity to work with a director like this, and I'll be repetitive in that.
हेलो मेरा नाम गुरु है कि खुशी होती है.
ऑप्शन का क्या हुआ?
चौथा मैं आपके लिए छोड़ दूंगी.
उसे तो हमने लॉक कर ही दिया.
तो पहला ऑप्शन ये है कि आपको मणिरत्नम सर के साथ खुशी होती है, डर लगता है कि आप समझते हैं कि आप सबसे लकी हैं कि आपको मणिरत्नम जी के साथ इतनी सारी फिल्में करने का मौका मिला. और चौथा क्वेश्चन आपके ऊपर.
One of the options I've answered time and again. तो सबसे पहले मैं खुशी कहूँगी, और I'm thankful to God, grateful to God that as an artist, like I said, I got to begin. He's my first guru as an artist, and I got to begin with him. So it's gratitude, it's absolute gratitude, and unabashed joy and happiness. That वो जो contentment जो मिलती है, वो जो creative security मिलती है, उसमें जो एक सुकून है, एक peace है, एक spirituality है, कि मतलब हम जानते हैं कि यहाँ हम यही करने आए हैं. You're here to work with this creative genius and the team that he brings together, where you actually get to work with just brilliance, and everybody truly brings their student-like approach to the set, because that's the teacher we're working with. That's the guru we're all working with. I mean, he is the captain. And he doesn't announce it, he doesn't state it. It is just a given, and everybody is out there to try and Rahman sir said, you know, it's search for excellence and that search is on. कभी convince नहीं होते कि मतलब हाँ पहुंच गए मिल गया we've done it. No, it's that search is a constant, and with each experience it just keeps growing. And I think that's the purest form of learning for any artist, to keep that going, that you know you need to constantly evolve. There's nothing called arriving or reaching and you know to reach a point where you feel you know it all. It's beautiful. I mean, our guru itself, himself always says, when we say like, do you know? He'll always say, no, I only know what I don't want. And we're constantly trying to figure out what it is that we're looking for. And it's so nice that he keeps it that pure. And he's always about keeping it true, keeping it real. तो एक ही लफ्ज़ में तो नहीं कह सकते, कोई ऐसे एक पॉइंट को लेके हम उस पर उंगली डाल के वो ग्रीन हाईलाइट नहीं होगा. बेसिकली इस पर हम we'll just go on and on. हम बोलते जाएंगे because it is evolution and that doesn't come to an end. So thank you.
I think you learn everything from history. I think education itself is what you've learned and what new comes in, and you know it builds up. So everything is from past is when the future comes. So I think especially in this novel and this film, I think after 1,000 years it is still relevant. The politics of it is still relevant. The psychology of it is still relevant, and therefore I think it is as contemporary as you can get.
Aishwarya, would you like to add to it?
It's good at actually. The point about, I mean, you'll always learn. History is your foundation. We are because of a past. We all arrive into this world from a past, and you can keep dating back, delving. It's your interest. It's your approach. You have to recognize respect and acknowledgement of history is what takes us forward. You know, and you learn, you unlearn, and then you relearn again. And as Sir said, the politics of it all, the human journey of every character, that is eternal. That's relevant even to date and up ahead, because every character is human, and human conflict, human emotional journeys, the roller coaster of what you go through, irrespective of the situation in which you come from. That is something that's relatable and relevant at every point in time.
Can I add that? So, we are actually North India, South India in a way, right? Half the people know about the Cholas through this movie already, through the trailer. They can spell what Chora means. So that's an important statement, and even for the present generation to know the greatness of what existed 1,000 years back is very important for them to get their self-esteem and to know where to go from here. Not celebrating the past, but what they could do, what they are capable of, and to finding themselves. So, yeah, thanks.
Can I add to that, please?
Sure.
Sorry, you got all of us excited. See, everybody has interest. There will be people who have, like science, astronomy, geography, history. But I think the most important thing is history. As children, all of us have listened to stories of the past. Whether it's Chandamama, we have Chandamama and Hindi. All those are stories we hear. We've been told stories about the past, about kings, we've had such an illustrious past. Just a small things that I want to bring to your notice. We all talk about the pyramids and how could they have possibly built it? How did they do it so many years ago? But do you know that in India we have so many temples, but the one with the highest gopuram is there in Tanjavur, which is where the Chola dynasty had happened, and his role, Rajaraja Cholan, had built it. That particular temple has the highest gopuram in the whole world. The top stone alone, it's a single stone that weighs 80 tons. 80 tons, not 1 ton or 2 tons. And how did they do it? But do we know that? We all go to the pyramids, we go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Someone said something very nicely. He said, we are actually appreciating a building that doesn't stand. It's falling over and wow, let's take a picture, let's take a selfie, and we're getting excited. But we have temples today that stand and they didn't use plaster. Do you know that for this particular stone, they had to use a ramp, which was 6 kilometers long,
which was pulled by bulls, elephants, and people, 6 kilometers long to get it up there, without any machinery, without any cranes, without anything. And they didn't have plaster. It's withstood 6 earthquakes. You know what happens when an earthquake comes? Without plaster. What they have done is they have an outer wall, then inside that they have a corridor of 6 feet, which is an open, just a corridor, and then they have another structure inside which goes all the way to the top, which is why they can withstand earthquakes, which is why they stood so long. So these are all things that we need to know about. This particular king has built 5,000 dams in his time, and he's made a water management ministry in that time. He's had elections for the village leaders. He's asked them to name cities after women. Why should it only be men? Why can't it be named after queen? And they've had hospitals, free hospitals, and and he actually brought loans. I mean, he used to give loans. He used to help people get dignity, not just throw money around. So this is something that's so illustrious. And this happened in the 9th century. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time. It happened in the 9th century when the rest of the world, you talk about superpowers today, the 9th century all this happened when we had the biggest maritime naval thing in the world. And it went all the way to Bali, all the way to Malaysia, and went till we sent emissaries to China. And you know what was the superpower doing then? America hadn't been discovered by Columbus till 500 years later. So think about our culture, think about how advanced we were. We need to be proud of this. It's nothing to do with North India, South India, West India, East. It is, we are Indians. And we need to be proud about that. But England were invaded by the Vikings, and Europe was in the dark ages during the 9th century. They had nothing going on. So don't you think we should celebrate history? Keep watching.
I understand what you're asking. No, I think when you approach an actor, you approach with a character in mind. You think he or she will be right for it, and therefore that is why you approach. You approach them not for a film but for a character. And if they are able to be on sync with the character, and if they like it, and if they have the time, then it becomes perfect.
Hi. A lot of people asked me, actually told me, playing Kundavai would have been so different for you because it's a woman who belongs to that era, and you've played characters which are pretty strong and a very, today's woman. But besides the physicality of the character, I could totally relate to Kundavai, even though she belonged to a totally different era, because she by herself is very, very empowered. And to be honest, we come from a blessed generation where, I feel very empowered today, but in that era it was very, very difficult. I mean, a woman even voicing something in a kingdom where the men would be like, who is she to just walk into a kingdom and say this, So that was one part of Kundavai that I took from today because I could really relate to it. She's very strong, very empowered. And that's what I loved about Kundavai. Because I was playing with today's woman, dressed differently, set in that era. So mind-wise, it was very similar. It's just that the appearance was very different.
Hi, you look lovely, Aishwarya. I would want to...
She's yet to see the movie. But of course, at the time, she was, I'm sure, enthralled. And there are many here who have children. And, seeing a period drama is always exciting. And she did get the opportunity to visit on set. And it was mesmerizing. I could see that in her eyes. But I think my admiration for working with him, she already has she respects him, she's in awe of him, and his affection is so sweet. And I think what excited her the most is the one day when she came on set and he gave her the opportunity to say action. She couldn't get over that. She's like, sir gave me the opportunity to say that. I said, my God, even we are going, I don't think any of us have had that opportunity. None of us have had that opportunity. So that's probably the most cherished memory. I said, this is really precious. And she values it already. And I think with growing years more so. It will be a much cherished memory.
Right. And my second...
A sincere student who earnestly has interpreted Mr. Mani Ratnam's vision. I think that's really our job as an actor. Thank you. मौका नहीं छोड़ेंगे. Clever, good.
I don't have the lyrics, but I can do the Tamil version. பொன்னி நதி பார்க்கணுமே காத்த போல கன்னி பெண்கள் காணணுமே காதலி
थैंक यू सो मच. मनी सर से सवाल है कि जब ये चाहते थे, जब आप पहले बनाना चाहते थे, क्या आपको याद है कास्टिंग क्या आपने सोची थी? अगर आपको लगता है
No, like I told you, this film that MG Ramachandran wanted to make, and he had a set of cast. And then later, when I thought of this, it was after a film called Nayagan that I've done with Kamal. We both wanted to do this film, so at that time we hadn't started casting. We just had Kamal Haasan as the hero, and we were working on the script. And it didn't get materialized because it was too big. We couldn't put it into a single film, and we couldn't afford it. So we left it back. So that's what the history is.
Hi.
The book is a historical fiction. Okay, there are lot of characters which are real, which existed, and which have been recorded in history. And there are some characters which Kalki had written, which were fictional. And I think the way he had blended the two was fascinating, and that is what we tried to capture in the movie.
Hi. Something about that.
The call was like, can you please come to my office? That was the call. Only when I entered the office, Mani sir sat and told that I'm going to play Ponniyin Selvan. First, I have to make sure whether there is a third person in the room so that he's the proof of what he said. I looked around, there was no third person. Then I asked him again, sir, can you repeat? No. Did I hear it right? Did you? Yeah. Then he repeated it, and I was blank totally. I didn't know how to react, what to react. But there was this feeling, it's a magical feeling that I'm sitting with the legendary Mani Ratnam sir, and his dream project. He's offering me the titular role, and it was amazing. It was a dream come true moment for me. And my dream was always, it had been, it was to work with Mani sir. And in such a project, he's called me. It was a great feeling. I'm still trying to put words into that feeling, but the feeling remains on top. No words can fill that feeling, and I'm really glad that he called me for this movie.
Alright, we'll take one last
Watch
question.
both the movies.
तेरे नाम हिंदी डायलॉग नहीं गाना ऐसे मेरे जीवन साथी प्यार किया जा जवानी दीवानी खूबसूरत जिद्दी पड़ोसन सत्यम शिवम सुंदरम. Thank you.
बहुत सारे फिल्में देखे हैं. एक डायलॉग बोलना है आपको. यस. मोगैम्बो खुश हुआ.
Seen Hindi films. In my college times, I would clearly remember Rangila. We went there to watch Tanha Tanha. We booked 3 shows back to back, and we were running inside the theatre, and we had to be thrown out. But we got the tickets for the next show. We came back inside. So Tanha Tanha, like Amir sir and that, like the music, like Rahman sir's music. Can never forget it. If you play the music, I'll go back to my college.
जयम सर का डायलॉग अपने स्टाइल में मोगैम्बो खुश हुआ अपने स्टाइल में.
Machida solibra.
Mogambo is not Hindi. Mogambo is it's a sound. It's a name.
Some other dialogue, man. Help me with
Mogambo. Mogambo.
Oh, wait. I remember Diva, no? माँ मेरे पास है.
मेरे पास माँ है.
मेरे पास माँ है. Thank you.
फिट किया है, बैठाया है वहाँ पे। तो आई एम श्योर वो मेहनत आप लोगों को दिखेगी और बहुत बहुत मैम मैं नहीं इतने लोग हैं मेरे को, आप पूछ के शर्मिंदा ना करें प्लीज। मैम पहले तो मैं जैसे ये दोनों भाषाएं मैं पहले तो अलग नहीं मानता, पहली चीज। दूसरे आप जब देखेंगे तो आपको वो बिल्कुल वैसा जो